Here we are. Hello, it's Yvonne. Welcome to Monday Night Live. Here we are on the 20th of June, 2022, zipping away in winter. So it's warm or cool where I am, hence a jumper. Thank you for joining me tonight on Monday Night Live. If you're watching live, please let me know. Drop a comment in there where you're watching from. If you're watching the replay, then let me know the replay. But regardless, love to hear your questions. So, and your comments and your chat. It's always so valuable. So tonight we're going to chat about a few things. If you are on our newsletter list, you would have received the newsletter this afternoon. More time equals less time equals no time. And this is something I've been thinking about for the last couple of weeks, actually. And I'm not sure whether it's because I'm nostalgic for times gone by or whether it's just because time seems to be going so fast. So I want to talk about that. I also want to talk about some common hiking injuries and how we can avoid them, prevent them. Also, how we can get out of our own head. Sometimes we get stuck in our own way. So quite a few short, sharp tips today. Some feedback from our masterclass that we ran last week on bottoms up. Yes, it was all about hiking bottoms, and I know you're there, Leanne. So it wasn't about how to get a tight butt, which is coming up in a future masterclass. And also just in terms of skills and knowledge, we were having a chat, Jane and I, after hiking today, just about some skills and knowledge and things like that we'd like to share. So let me get something. Hang on. It's easier for me to read the comments. I have my mouse here. So hello, Patricia from Crescent Head in New South Wales, Leanne from Corinda, Cherie from Ningi. Hi, Cherie. I hope you're feeling better. Kerry from Victoria, very chilly. Yes, absolutely. Vanessa from Croy, love your photos. Sandra from the Central Coast. Hi, Brod. I was just thinking of you. And Suzanne from Alice Springs on holidays. Awesome. I hope it's warmer up there. Probably not at the nighttime, but during the day, it probably is. So it's been a big week for me last week. Lots of things happened. If you've been trying to get onto our website, we did have a bit of a crash on the website over the weekend. It's up and running. It's just a little bit clunky at the moment. So if you do need anything and can't access it, please contact us in the office because we'll be able to help you out in a different kind of way. But hopefully, within the next 24 hours, it'll be back up to normal. And hello, Annie from Noosa as well, and Patricia from Pascoe Vale in Victoria. Thank you so much for joining us. So the newsletter tonight was all about more time equals less time equals no time. And I was born in the 60s, so my 70s was a very wonderful time, full of weekends that just seemed to go on and on forever. There was no obligation or feeling that you had to be somewhere other than to go to somebody's house, show up randomly, or not randomly, uninvited might be the better word, to their place and just drop in. But we don't seem to do that anymore. So then we had, the constraints of time. We had to shop between 9 and 5 when the stores opened, the supermarkets, all of that. Now I was a little girl, maybe time seems a bit different to, how old I am now in my mid-50s. But shops were only open on a Thursday night and they were only open until lunchtime Saturday. So it was very busy at the stores on Saturday morning. But you knew from Saturday lunchtime, which was just such a nice feeling, that there was this totally uninterrupted time where we didn't have this to interrupt us, which I think makes time go faster. And it just seemed carefree. And I had one of those weekends just gone. Sure, I had the phone and I was trying to sort out the website, but I didn't have to be anywhere and I didn't have to do anything. I just had to be me. And I thought about this, and I've been watching a couple of TV shows as well with time, and how time is just going so fast, and how the more we have more time, technology, they said, was going to give us more time. And we were all wondering, about 20 years ago, what we were going to do with our time. And then as technology came on, we seemed to get busier, but we still have more time. We can shop and, text people, email requests, buy stuff whenever we want in a 24-hour period. So we have more time and we have all the time in the world. But I think I actually have less time. So I have more time. I can choose to do it when I want. I can, be sitting here doing work and then take a call and get interrupted, but multitask at the same time. I can, wait for something to load on the computer and then I'll get distracted and play a game on my phone or something like that. So I actually have less time. less time for less chunks of time, I suppose. And then if I keep doing that, I actually have no time. And I have heard this saying, it's not just me, that people have no time. They have no time for themselves. They have no time for, in this instance, fitness or hiking, but just no time. And I think that maybe we're better to block our time. We were talking this morning at Hike about that, there was a time where we would do, and this is not a gender thing, where we would do some meal planning and we would shop for that meal, to that meal plan for the week. And then that would be our only visit to the supermarket. So you think about all those little 15, 20 minutes here or an hour here and there at the supermarket. I know I can walk to my supermarket, pick up stuff and come home for dinner. That's probably collectively about, if I do that 4 times a week, 4 hours that I'm spending going and doing shopping. Sure, I'm walking as well. Whereas if I just planned it for, once a week, it would be maybe an hour's thing, an hour's shopping time. So I do think that as we have more time, if we're not in charge of our time, if we're not the master of what we choose to do, we actually have less time, and then we have no time. And, everyone says to me, I have no time, but we do. It's just how we choose to have it play out in our life. And someone said to me once, very wise, I can't remember who it was, but they were very wise, that if we don't control our time, then someone else will. So have a think about that. So I'm just going to check in who else is here. We've got Donna from Brisbane. Hello, Donna. We'll be seeing you soon for Couch to Mountain. Wendy from Victoria. Pauline from Adelaide. Jennifer from Brisbane. Ellen from Victoria. Ganesh from Nepal. Hello, Ganesh. Margaret in Cairns. Suze in Victoria. And Kay from Brisbane. So lovely to have you here. So the more time equals less time equals no time is my theme for tonight. And I'm going to segue this into some common hiking injuries. And the majority, and we'll have a masterclass in August on this one coming up, which was in today's newsletter as well with the date, August 10, that the majority of hiking injuries can be prevented if you devote the time to being functionally strong. So, the most common hiking injury other than a fall, which can be prevented, is sore knees going down a hill. And I asked the question at our group hike training the other week, and I would say about 40% of our members who were there said that they get sore knees going downhill, and that can be prevented. And that can be prevented through quite simple preventative functional exercises. And if you're in our Couch to Mountain program, and I know some of you here are, we'll be talking about this, doing this physically after this session when we have our Couch to Mountain. We're actually doing a live training session on this participative training session. So this most common hiking injury, other than a fall, is a sore knee going downhill. And if you have never had a knee reconstruction, if you've never had a knee injury before, my guess is that you just aren't functionally strong enough. And that might be tough love, and I might have spoken about last week, but we had a couple of live examples over the couple of weeks where we feel we have no need to train and be strong because it isn't an issue. And nothing's really an issue till it becomes an issue. So if we build the strength, recruit the muscles where we're supposed to do the job, then we can enjoy our hiking so much more pain-free. We can do it with absolute confidence, and we can also minimize the risk of any injury. So if we're got a sore knee and we're doing all sorts of things we can to get down a hill, and it doesn't have to be a particularly steep hill because the pain in that knee is so intense while you're going down the hill, but then disappears when you get on the flat or uphill. I know exactly, I'm not a health professional, but I know exactly in 99% of cases what that will be and how we can prevent that. And so if you have that once and you don't know what it is, and you pay attention on the trail, and then you get home from the trail and you don't think about it again, doesn't bother you till you go out again the next time and you think about it, then maybe you'll think, well, this hiking thing's not for me. This activity, this exercise, whatever it is not for me. I'll just walk around the footpath on the flat. Then that's all well and good if that's what you choose to do. But a simple move, a simple functional fitness move can solve that and have you, out on the trails or out on the streets, walking up and down hill or wherever you might choose to be, even if it's going on holidays, and you're sightseeing, walking, it can play up. So there's some very simple moves that you can do to become functionally strong for hiking downhill. And if you remember, we do this in our functional fitness. We're doing it again on Thursday morning, but also the on-demand as well. So yeah, it's basically your glutes aren't strong enough, and I show you moves on how to make them stronger. So it played out this week. Don't get complacent. Don't think it won't happen to you, because if you're not strengthening these muscles, it will happen to you. And the more load you put on your back, the more it will exaggerate. And it doesn't matter how fit you are. It doesn't matter whether it's your first time or your last time, because it can happen to anyone. And once you've had it, it's quite painful. You won't want it to happen again. So that's coming up in our masterclass in August, the most common hiking injuries and what we can do to prevent them. But if you're a member and jump onto our functional fitness sessions, live or on demand, then you will know quite a few of that stuff, that information before the masterclass comes, and you'll be a master at it and stronger as you go. Let me just check in. We've got Gwen from Port Macquarie, Kerry from Northeast Victoria, Michelle from Narangba, Tracy from Yulong. I got your message the other day, Tracy, too. Kim from Mornington. Hello, Kim. Suze, oh, you love my new glasses. Yeah, thanks. And you found out on Thursday you actually have glutes. That's because of functional fitness, I'm sure, Suze. So that's good to see. The other thing to talk about is we can sometimes get stuck in our own head and get stuck in our own thoughts. And there's this great book, I think I might have mentioned it just at book club the other day, at our online book club. But there's this great book I'm reading called The Gap and the Gain. And sometimes here we are right now. This is where our ideal, where we want to be, and this is where we were. And this book came to me through, I belong to a mastermind with a business group. I've been in it for about 6 years, and each quarter they send us a book. And the book came from there. I can't remember the name, the author. Our ideal, where we started, and where we are now, somewhere in the middle. And if we keep measuring ourselves from where we are in the middle to where we want to be, that's the gap, we won't be particularly happy with ourselves. What we need to do is measure ourselves from where we are to where we came from, and that's the gain. And if we continue to measure ourselves against the gain, against the things we've actually succeeded in, then we'll be in our happy place. And I was chatting with some members the other day, and they were saying that that they've still got the gap is here. And if we stop and check in, a couple of years ago, they didn't know each other. Now they're friends and holiday and adventure together. A couple of years ago, they didn't know how to safely walk up and down a hill. And now they're measuring the biggest hill that they can see, where they forget that they were actually never walking up a hill before. Others are, I now have, some aches and pains or some medical conditions that I didn't have. What do I need to do? Well, nothing actually has changed other than now knowing the diagnosis, but the fact that they forget that they were strong and active and capable and doing all these things. The ideal is there, but how far everyone has come, or that, I don't seem to be getting any fitter. But collectively, if we think about where we've come from, then the gain is so much. And I think we forget the gain. I think I'm guilty of it too, that there's always so much to do, that we're always racing ahead, trying to figure out how to get, to the next hill, literally, in life, whether the hill is, the hiking hill or our life metaphor, where we're racing to get to that next hill, and we forget where we've come from. We forget, in our instance with our members, and we're 8 years old, the skills that everyone has learnt, the transfer of knowledge, the confidence, the self-esteem, the ability to assess terrain and work out whether that's for you or not, the ability to know your own body, your own heart rate, all of those things. If we look back to where we were, and we said this with our Couch to Mountain girls a few weeks ago, not our Couch to Mountain, our 5 kilometre for 5 days, it was a year, and we had a couple of our wonderful members who are watching tonight on, is if we look back to where we were a year ago, how much have we gained? Not to where we still want to go, but how much have we gained from a year ago? And if anyone wants to share how much, just whatever it is in life that you've gained from where you were a year ago, not where you not if you fell short of what your ideal is, but what you've actually gained from a year ago. Mine is to maintain my good health, and I've gained that and more over the past 12 months because I've put in that little bit of effort every single time. I'm not at the ideal. I'll never be at the ideal for what level of health I want. I don't think that it actually exists. But if I look at collectively over my life, what I've gained, and I was looking at some pictures the other day. I had done a photo shoot for our wonderful member, Fiona Keary, who runs Style Liberation, which is a fashion styling, find your own style for clothing. Did a photo shoot for her, and I was looking at some old photos, and I have gained so much in terms of not only my body shape, but my body confidence, my knowledge and style of myself by getting comfortable in my own skin. And I have gained so much. So I don't know, and no one's sharing. Maybe I'm just rattling on. So if you've got something you want to share on that, I'd love to know what your gap and what your gain is. Another question that came by my desk, and thank you, Suze. Suze started with not being able to walk 5 kilometres, then walked the 30K in a day for Beyond Blue not long ago. And yeah, all the training and your commitment and the newfound friends that you had made, Suze, as well inside the membership helped you get there. The other thing that came across my desk this week was we had our masterclass on bottoms, so hiking bottoms, and how to choose the right ones for you, whether that's pants, shorts, skirts, leggings. What about over waterproof pants and underwear? And the thing that we gained so much, the great questions that came out of it, was everybody gained some knowledge of what pants are suitable for their style, some things that they may not have thought about that are good for them for hiking, and also some stores that fit different sizes. And, whether you are tall or short, apple or pear-shaped or somewhere in between, it's really hard to find the right hiking gear. So, having that knowledge delivered of, what to look for, why to look for it, how it's fit for purpose makes such a difference. But some of the questions were in particular that all this hiking stuff costs so much, and it's really easy to get carried away with spending a lot of money. But when you get the right knowledge, you actually don't need to buy a whole lot of stuff. You can pick very, very carefully and buy the one piece of the quality things that you need, and there's really only a couple that you need, and this is all inside the membership. You have access to all of this, and then that you've got what's functionally fit for you. But it's all about knowing your style and yourself, and getting really honest for yourself. And I know with hiking poles, people often say to me, what's the best hiking pole to get? And it's really not a matter of which is the best hiking pole. It's working out how often you're going to use them and what you're going to use them for. And when I first started, I had the ones, I think they were $20 a pair from Anaconda, and they did me for years and years and years. And it was eventually because I was doing a bit more travel and I wanted them to collapse down a bit more and be a bit more lightweight that I upgraded myself. So it's not like we need to spend huge amounts of money. It's knowing or having someone teach you the right things. And believe me, I've spent all the money and I've made all the mistakes, and happily will share that. And so will Jane and Trisha, who Women's Fitness Adventures Leaders, will share that inside the membership as well. So you get the benefit of all of that from us. And let's see, Cherie says, over the last 12 months, you've gained a lot more strength and confidence. Absolutely. And if we look at where we were, Cherie, and what we've gained, it really puts us in that happy place. And Leanne says, yep, over the past 12 months, she's also gained confidence. And that confidence spills over into so many parts of our life, not just our ability to move on trails and be outside, but in every aspect of our life, and it shows. Michelle says, I've gained a lot more fitness. I love hiking hills now. That's music to my ears. I don't dread them. I've also slimmed down and feel really good about myself. That is amazing. And congratulations, Michelle. It really makes a difference that, feeling really good about yourself just spills over into so many aspects of our life. Brod says, I've gained awareness and the interest in getting out and exploring. I know it's made me stronger. Absolutely. And stronger that just spills over into so many things, that awareness and getting out and exploring is a curious mind, and a curious mind keeps us, not only physically stronger, but intellectually stronger as well. So thank you for sharing that. And then the other thing, I think it's really important, is that seek to understand. So, don't just do what the person there is doing. Seek to understand why they're doing it and whether that works for you or not. When we are out on our training trails, it's because you're going that way doesn't necessarily mean that's the right. I mean, we're all going in the same direction, but that's the right path down the hill for the next person to take. So think of a wide fire trail. One person might decide to go straight down the middle, another person might decide to go off to the side, and then another person might choose the track that's kind of skirts around the edge of the fire trail. It's all about finding the right path for you and then following your own path, assessing it at the very beginning. And that, of course, is life as well, finding your right path. Don't just tread lightly behind someone. Pauline says, like Suze, I struggled to walk 5 kilometres, but was able to complete the 100-kilometre Great Ocean Way in May. Having said that, I can't believe how quickly that level declines. I've discovered I need incentives to keep me walking, and I do manage squats every day, though. And Pauline, thank you so much for sharing that, because Pauline did our Great Ocean Walk hike, or Great Ocean Road hike, in May with us. And when Pauline joined us May last year, May 2021, she actually doesn't like walking without a purpose. So to just go out for a walk in the afternoon is not Pauline's thing, and just blitzed it when we did the Great Ocean Road hike. But it does decline, and that we all do need incentives to keep us walking. And so the member challenge, which you'll hear about this week, there's some teasers coming out and starts on Monday, we'll give you a challenge, and it will give you a challenge that will get you through the June and well into July. So we'll be stepping ourselves into spring before we know it, and feeling great and confident and strong about ourselves as well. Managing squats every day is one of the ways to reduce that most common hiking injury as well, which is pain in our knees when we go downhill. So thank you so much, Pauline, for sharing that, because that's part of everything. And I just want everyone to think about, I spoke about the Gap and the Gain book, and just think about your own success and what success means to you, because our journey is only with ourselves and with ourselves. And, we can look at others and we can feel, that we maybe should be doing what they're doing, or maybe, focused on this or that. But our journey is only with ourselves, and everyone has similar stories in a way, but of our ups and downs and roundabouts and things that happen to us and stuff. But what is your own success? And is, as we've heard tonight, that confidence and that feeling good about ourselves is the success how you handle yourself in life now. And I think that when we learn something new and we're equipped with new skills and new knowledge, we find new friends and we find a community that gets us, then really we step into ourselves and we find success. And then that success manifests itself in other ways, such as physical. So it's kind of that, is it the chicken? Is it the egg? Am I stronger because I'm fitter? Or am I fitter because I'm stronger, because I've got that mindset? I've found a community, I've found a group that really gets me. So coming back full circle to more time equals less time equals no time. And you've seen and heard some great examples here of our members who have really used the last 12 months to make time, to create time, to carve time out in their life. And everyone is busy. No one is busier than anybody else. We all choose to take on a little or a lot. But, we can all really become the best version of ourselves if we choose to make the most of that time. Sue says, I think that's another thing, actually finding yourself and learning to care for yourself. Yeah, and that's a really hard thing, because we all carry so much guilt with us all the time. But the more we do that, the better we get at it. The more we give time to ourselves, the stronger we can become, both here and physically as well. So have a think about that. Is the more time that we have giving you less time and actually giving you no time? So I challenge you for this week, take charge of your time. And when you take charge of your time, you'll find the time for you. You'll find yourself, as these ladies have here, to become stronger, to become fitter, to seek out the curious, to explore and wander, and really feel good about themselves as well. So that's it from me for next week. For this week, I will be seeing some of you online in functional fitness this week. We've got the cardio boost tomorrow afternoon. We've got our trekking in Tuscany meeting this week. We've got Couch to Mountain in an hour. We've also got, in 2 weeks, I'll be in Iceland. So we'll be doing some lives from there. Maybe not at the same time, but we'll be doing some lives from there as well. So that's it from me for this week. If you aren't a member and want to be, then just jump on, where is it? Just jump on here. Membership's open. Join membership. It's instant. There is such a wealth of goodness in there, and all these wonderful ladies who'll be making comments are in there as well. So thank you for joining me, and I look forward to catching up with you next Monday night on Monday Night Live. See you then. Bye.